Okay, I have 12 o'clock on the dot. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Tech Tuesday workshop, Excel for Beginners. I want to introduce Sylvia, who is going to be the presenter for you today. You see her presentation on the screen. Sylvia, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for coming to this presentation. This is the Excel workshop for beginners. So we're going to navigate this application just to let you know that there are so many features that the application contains. So we're going to cover just I don't want to say the most important one, but at least to have an idea how to navigate this software. This presentation is that we provide this presentation through the learning resources, and my name is Sylvia Ville. I am working as an instructional assistant too, and I have a master's degree in human resources, and I work for Miami-Dade College for the past 25 years. The objective that we want to cover through this workshop, it is what is Excel, how to open Excel, the Excel interface, the name box and formula bar, columns and rows, the difference between a workbook and a worksheet, and some mathematical operations. So what is Excel? Well, if you look in any part, in any book or through the internet, we see that Excel is a spreadsheet program developed by Microsoft Corporation. And the spreadsheet is a grid of cells arranged into rows and columns. The cells are used to enter, store, and manipulate data. So how to open Excel? Well, if you are using any computer at the courtyard or library, basically what you're going to do at the bottom of the computer, there is a search button where you are going to type the word Excel, and it's going to open the application in here. For example, I'm going to show you at the same time. For example, if I type Excel, you're going to see the icon for the Excel, and this is the way that you open the application. So in here, I'm going to explain the workshop, and at the same time, I'm going to show you to you. So when you type Excel and you open the application, this is the one. You're going to see that you can either open a blank document or you can open the different templates. In here in new, you see those templates, meaning that when you are using Excel, you either create your own document or you can use any of the templates that Excel application offer to you. Now, the Excel interface, I want to show you 4 important areas. You see in here, number 1 is the workbook. Number 2, the ribbon. Number 3, name box and formula bar. And number 4, the columns. When we say the number 1, the workbook, well, every time that you open an Excel application, it's going to show in here as a book 1 until you save the document and assign a different name. If you open another Excel document, it's going to show book 2 and then another one, book 3, and so on. That if you save it, if you don't change the name, it's going to be saved as a book 1. Now, the ribbon is all of this area where you have all the different icons. It is called the ribbon. The ribbon, you see, you have different buttons, and you also have all the menus that you're going to be using, such as the font, the alignment, all the area is called the ribbon. This part, what is called the name box, this area, this little area, and this part to the right, it is called the formula bar. So the name box, which is to the left, is going to show the intersection in the cell. So we're going to see that during the presentation, the meaning of that, of the intersection. And the right part, it is where you are going to be writing the formula. And the most important part, perhaps, for the Excel, it is divided in columns and rows. You see the different columns, column A, column B, column C. These are the columns that Excel indicates with the letters from the alphabet. And the rows is the horizontal part that Excel indicates with numbers. Now, something very important just to mention is when you see the different columns from the letters from the alphabet, when you get the letter Z, it begins another set of columns like AA, BB, CC, and so on. Just to let you know, there are over 16,000 columns in each document. And when you go through the rows, you see that there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Well, there are over 1 million of rows in each workbook. When you see the column, I'm going to be working in this area. To the left, it is the presentation, and to the right, it's also that I'm going to be using for you to see what I mean. So when you see the column, this is the way that you can resize the size of the column. Just you see, you move the mouse around of the letter of the column, and when you click, when you see the double arrow, when you click, and that is going to allow you to resize the column. Same thing with the rows. If you need to modify the size of the row, just move the mouse around the row until you see the arrow. Click in that place, and then this is going to allow you to modify the size of the row. This is called the resize pointer. The resize pointer works either by the column or by the rows. Now, what is the difference between the workbook and the worksheet? Well, think about any book. The book is, at the moment that you open an Excel file, it's called Excel Workbook. Now, every time that you open an Excel file, you're going to see that you have just one here at the bottom, one worksheet. But with this plus sign, you can create another worksheet, and another worksheet, and another worksheet. Okay? So any workbook is the name that the Excel file, when you open the file, it is called workbook. And then these ones are called worksheet, where you have another document and another one and another one. In other words, any workbook may have so many worksheets as you need it. Another feature, very interesting, it is what we call the field handle. Let me tell you that when you click in any cell, we call it the active cell. Now, when you click in the cell, you're going to see this little square that is called the field handle. And you're going to see why this field handle is important. For example, if you type the word Monday, and this is the active cell, you click in here in the square, which is called the field handle, and you drag, and you see the system, the software is going to fill out with the rest of the day of the week. The same thing if you type the month January, and then click on the cell, and again, you take in here the square, which is called the field handle, and you drag through the different cells. It's going to complete with the month of the year. This is a very useful features, and later on, you are going to see why it is important. Now, if you type two different numbers, for example, I'm going to type the number 1, And then if I use it just with the number 1, the same feature, the field handle, and you drag, it's gonna only copy the same number. It's like a copy and paste. However, if I have 2 different numbers, 1 and 2, for example, and I highlight both cells, and now I take the field handle, guess what? The system is going to understand that what I want is the sequence number. And this sequence number, it works with any type number. For example, if I put a 50, and now I put it 100, and I highlight both cells, and I use the field handle, it understands that the sequence number is going to be now the next one, 150. And the next one is going to be 200. So in this way, it's going to be very easy for me to type or create a sequence number that I don't have to type it one by one. For example, I don't know, if I type 25 and then I type 75, okay? And now the next sequence number is going to be 125, or one is 175, and so on. So you see how useful is to the field handle. Through the mathematical operations, something that we need to know with Excel, every time that we want to use a mathematical operation, we need to begin with the equal sign. The equal sign is going to indicate to Excel that what comes next is an equation. So in this way, for example, if you want to say, okay, add 5 plus 2, either you can press the Enter key, or you can press this one icon, which is also the Enter key. And the system is going to give you the result. And the same thing, you know, we use the plus sign when you want to add 2 numbers. We use the hyphen when we want to subtract numbers. We use the asterisk if you want to multiply 2 numbers. And we use the forward slash if you want to divide 2 numbers. In this case, we're going to subtract 2 numbers, equal sign, and we want 5 minus 2. I'm going to press the Enter key, and it's going to give me the result. And here we're going to multiply equal sign 5 plus 2, and it's going to give me the result 10. And in this case, I'm going to show you how to divide 2 numbers. 5 divided by 2, and again, Enter key, and it's going to give me the result. This is very simple mathematical operations. In this case, but also we have functions. Of course, Excel is very, very extremely detailed. So if you have a list of numbers, for example, I'm going to show you here, 345 plus 240 plus 125. In this case, there are 3 numbers. Okay, so in here we are going to say, I want to add these numbers. Let me know if you see in here. Instead of if we want to use the same way, like equal sign, we can use 345 plus 240 plus 125, okay? And I'm going to get the result. But imagine that instead of having 3 numbers, imagine that you have 100 numbers or 500 numbers. It's going to be very difficult to do in this way. So there is a better way to do it when you want to add several numbers at the same time. So instead of to use that way, you just click in the cell where you want to have the result. And then in here, you use the AutoSum. You see this here, the AutoSum. When you press the AutoSum is going to show you all the numbers that the system is going to add up. and just say, okay, yes, these are the numbers. And you press the button or the enter key, and you see it is a much easier way to add in these numbers. And also it's important to know, for example, let's say that you have an inventory where you have an item. I put an item AAA, and you have the unit price, it is $10. I'm going to write here, $10. And you have the quantity of 5 units, okay? And you want to know the price of this. Well, there are 2 ways to get this price of this. We can either say, well, equal, and type 10 multiply by 5, okay? And of course, we're gonna get the result. But there is a better way of doing this. Because if you see in the different items, I have another item which is called BBB, and also we have the unit price and you have the quantity of 8. And another item which is $70 with a quantity of 20. And another items of $18 with a quantity of 4. Imagine that you have an inventory of 500 items. Can you imagine to do it one by one? It's going to take you forever. So there is a better way. I want to type in here the same example because this is a picture. I want to put an 8. In here it is $70. And by 20 quantity, and $18 per unit. Okay, so in here, I'm going to put the equal sign, but instead of typing 10 and 5, I'm going to select the cell. I'm going to select this cell, and then I'm going to multiply by this cell. And now I'm going to get the result. But using the fill handle, because now I use the different cell, I'm gonna drag, and guess what? It's gonna give me the results. It's gonna, in each row, in this row, it's gonna select the 15 and multiply by 8. And this row is gonna select 20 and multiply by 70 and multiply by 20. And in this row is going to select 18 and multiply by 4. So in this example, you're going to see how useful is the fill handle, because you're going to just obtain the result of the first row. And now imagine that if I have 500 different items, it's going to be very easy for me just to make the first multiplication, and then use the fill handle and go through all the list of different items, which is very useful. Something that you're going to see also in Excel is what we call the hash arrow. That is represented with a numerical symbol. For example, if I want to say, I'm going to put the column very small on purpose, and I'm going to type in here 5,000. Since you see the size of the column, it is too small, and inside I wanted to type the 5,000. This is the way the system is going to show you that inside the application cannot show you the 5,000 because the column is too small. So if you want to modify the size of the column, just drag a little bit, and now they have enough space to show you the amount of 5,000. So the first time that you see this, with this symbol, you're going to think that is an error. Actually, the system is asking you to modify the size of the column. That's it. So you know how. Just drag a little bit more, and now the column has enough space. And now I would like to show you how to sort data. For example, let's say that you have this last name, which is Perez, and then you have a Brown, and then you have Garcia. Okay. Imagine, I just put it for you, just 3 different last name, but it could be a list of 100 last name, and you want to organize this. Well, it's very simple. You highlight the cells and go in here. You see the sort menu. When you click in the sort menu, you are going to have different sort menus. You can sort from A to Z. You can sort from Z to A, or you can use the custom sort. These are the different features from the sort menu. We're going to sort the first one, A to Z, and you're going to see how you change the order. You see, now it has been organized in alphabetic order. And we're going to use it again. Here, Garcia and Brown. But now I'm going to organize this instead of from A to Z. We're going to organize this from Z to A. So again, we're going to go to the sort feature, and we're going to select the second one, which is meant to organize from Z to A. And you see, Perez is going to be first, Garcia second, and Brown is going to be the third one. You see the difference between A to Z and Z to A. And another feature, this is the last exercise that we're going to do, is let's think that you have a list of employees, could be a list of classmates, could be any type of list of professors, if you wish, where you have the last name and also the name. But think about the list where you have Brown, Jose, no, I'm sorry. Here is Jose, and we have Brown, Maria, Garcia, Beatriz. We have another Perez on purpose, okay, to put it this name, in this case, Ruiz. And we have another Garcia. You see that we have several employees or classmates with the same last name, Garcia Jose, and a third one, Perez, Maria. Okay, you see, when you have a list of last name that repeats the same last name, and at the same time you want to organize the list. Imagine that you may have 500 employees or 500 students, and you want to organize. Well, in this case, you are going to select all the cells, and we're going to go through the sort menu, and we're going to select the custom sort. The custom sort is very useful because it's going to allow you to select, to organize by last name and also by name. So the only thing that we need to see is that the last name in here, Perez, Brown, Garcia, it is under the column M. And the names, we have the names in the column N. So the first thing that we are going to organize, it is in here, sort by the column M, because M contains the last name. And then we're going to create another level, and we're going to say to the system to organize the column N also in the AZ order. So in other words, I'm telling to the system to organize the last name in alphabetic order from A to Z, meaning A is going to be the first last name and Z is going to be the last one. And later organize the names also in the same order from A to Z. When you click OK, this is what happened. You see Brown Maria is going to be first because B stands for the first last name. But look, see now there's the different Garcia. you have two different Garcia, but Beatriz is going to be first and Jose is going to be second. And you have three different pairs and organized now by name. Paris Jose is the first one, Paris Luis, the second one, and Paris Maria, the third one. So you see how useful is the sort menu, where you can organize just one column or several columns at the same time. Okay, well, and this has been the end of this presentation. And if you have any question about the topic that we have covered, I would like to put the different topics in here. And if you have any questions, just let me know. If you would like to submit your survey about this presentation, this is the link that we provide from the learning resources that you can fill it out and give us your feedback. Any questions, just let me know, please.
Thank you, Sylvia.
You're welcome there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions on the chat. But thank you. I don't know if we can wait a minute and see if anybody has any questions or comments. Okay. Well, you have Sylvia's contact information there. svilla@mdc.edu. You can always email her with any questions or follow up, because I know a lot of times you think of a question after. So feel free to reach out to her. And thank you for attending.
Thank you.